Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, today we have the meeting with urban eco-activist Konrad Domaszewski. Let's...
Hello!
So here you have the very good material to ask the questions because Konrad has experience. So feel free to ask. You later on, I tell you other stuff. Right. So mogę już? So yes, let's start the meeting.
Okay.
Stage is yours.
So I prepared some information about activism. Probably some of them you know, and now I will start from the wider perspective, and then I will show you what I'm doing in Warsaw. So basically, activists, well, everything is about the change. Whenever there's positive change in society, we can thank activists, more or less. They work in every corner of the world on issues like social issues, racial, gender discrimination, right to the city, urban issues, and others. And to be effective, activism combines many strategies. Here are some types: demonstration and protests, boycotts, letter writing and petitions, social media campaigns, performances and pranks. And what does activism do in society? Ending slavery, for example, challenging the dictatorship, protecting workers from exploitation, environment, promoting equality for women, opposing racism, and changing cities into more sustainable and less polluted and more friendly places. What is important and which thing, this thing that we are really focused, it's a positive activism. Well, this is really important because it shows other perspective, like the positive version of thinking, and promoting those who are making choices to make the world better, not to saying that this or that is bad, but also give some solutions. And urban activist, this concept, it's called right to the city, and this has been taken up by the variety of social movements and urban activists around the world who use it as a rallying cry for a greater social justice and democracy in the urban environment. So this is like the theory, and this is the movement that I joined a few years ago. It's called The City is Ours, and it's an independent citizen platform. It started in 2013 in Warsaw. It's a non-profit civic association, 250 members. In most of the districts in Warsaw, it is 12 of 18. And the main topics and subject that it's interested, it's sustainable transport in the city, community rights, environment, land management, reprivatization of Warsaw properties, and participatory democracy. And well, this is like more information about what exactly Miasto Nasze is doing in the city. Well, it's fighting with pollution, and also fighting with some bad stuff that is going on in the city, more or less, like with smoke, for example, and with this is as you see some of the things that Miasto Nasze is doing. Here was a campaign against smog in the city, and we created, it's called papierosy, cigarettes, called Smog for Children. And we show it to there was a press conference, because there's so much smog in the city is so polluted, that even children like breathe it. So that was one thing. But we also made like some kind of solution about like the transport, for example. That was a big thing that was made by MJN, and it was a map of like the connections between politicians and lawyers and some groups that are selling a lot of properties in Warsaw and bribes, etc. So it was a huge thing. And another thing, it was about like the plastic bags that we tried to make a like solution and give some positive solution about that. So we showed that maybe it's better to use paper bags instead of plastic bags in the markets and in other places in city. And of course there are some things like, for example, dances and some pranks. For example, this one in the center of the city, there was a space that we showed that it is possible to use it as a place for everybody. And so, and that one, it's called Advocacy initiative. It's an initiative that I am a member, and it's basically aimed at restoring or forsaken outdoor velodrome. Velodrome, it's a place for when you can cycle and it's on special bikes, and primary goal is to make this velodrome an open, green, multi-purpose sports and recreation center of the local community, and to be able to use it for social and cultural activities alike. And basically we are a social movement that brings together the representatives from various backgrounds, riders, cyclists, and also normal people from local districts like Kamionek, Grochów, Praga Południe. And our goal is to revive and restore the forsaken outdoor velodrome. This is our things that we are making. We create a special font based on the what you say, how you say it, on the old font that was used on this building. We created also architectural plans of this place, and also special posters, and we also took part in a thing called the sport in the Praga district with the Museum of Praga, and we also make some pranks with the we make like a special birthday cake for the major, because he's doing nothing for this place. So and our actions, we create a website, Nowe-Dynasty.pl, made exhibition, pranks, blow up the velodrome. I will show you in a minute. Birthday cake for district authorities, major. Discussions, posters, movies, campaigns also, fundraising, collect signature for public consultation, architectural design, press conferences, and Green Dynasty, fourth nation concept, and social needs and local community. So I will show you blow up the velodrome. Hope that it will work. Aneta. Okay. Yep. And I will show you also the place that we are fighting for from a drone perspective.
Czego sobie życzysz, pa? Do jutra wyposażysz całe to pomieszczenie w meble, regały, stoły, krzesła i wózki.
Nie wierz w cuda, uwierz w gotowy partner. Do 2 dni.
We also make like documentary movie about
Pierwszy wyścig, pamiętasz?
And we also make a fundraising to create, it's called Small Dynasty, so it was a smaller version of this velodrome. So basically, this is our the thing that we are doing in what I'm doing right now in my local district, and this is some things that you can do if you want to start to be an activist. Act local, think global, find organization or become a member, create your own organization, act yourself or create your own ideas in the organization, write emails and official formal letters, make allies in country and abroad, and B&S, pranks and solution, and lobby. And of course there are some disadvantages of being activist. Money, time, somebody will do it, problems with local authorities, with local community, present social media, hate speech and stress. Well, the thing is that when you start to be activist, the money is always an issue, because sometimes you want to create something and you don't have any kind of money, or try to search. And sometimes you have to spend your own money to create something, and this is sometimes, it's hard. And time, at the beginning of all the organization, everybody has time, but after a while, sometimes it appears that you don't have time, or your friends don't have time, and the thing is that it's hard to build something when nobody have more time to create stuff. So this is the thing, and the next one is somebody will do it. So of course you can create a lot of things or imagine that you can do it, but then somebody has to do it, and the thing is that nobody wants to, or somebody will do it, but nobody knows who is this somebody. So problems with local authorities. Activists, it's always, especially for major or for local authorities, it's we don't like each other, we may say, more or less, it depends. And sometimes they're trying to give you as much as they can obstacles and problems, and they will not help you with some kind of sometimes they help you, but it's really rare. Problems with local community. Sometimes the activists think in a little bit different way, because for example, Miasto jest nasze always maybe not fighting with the cars in a city, but try to say that cars also they are not like they give pollution to the city. They create smog, etc. So sometimes it's better to have less car in the city than more. So sometimes it's different than communities want, because everybody want to have 1, 2, 3 cars. So, but the city is not from the government. You cannot, change places or change it into the way that it's only a parking slot. Present social media. Many times local authorities use press or social media to show your activism as something that is bad, that is not good for anybody, and it is part of the hate speech that can use it against you if they want to. So and what is what is important, the stress. Sometimes there is a stress when you when you see that somebody is using hate speech against you, against your activism, against your movement, etc. And of course, another thing is that from time to time, there are some things that are getting to be in a court, and you will have to explain in court that your activism is nothing bad or that kind of stuff. So more or less, it's that's it. So do you have any questions?
You don't have to move. Totally random. And each of you, please first discuss and think what kind of question you can ask, something which might be needed for your campaign, for your happening in Zakopane, because you are going to be somehow in the position, okay? You can also pass the papers, okay? The groups, also, so you can pass, right? Podajcie tam dalej. Ale on nie działa, to jest działa tylko. To jest zabawka.
Okay, so
Please pay attention and speak loud, okay?
Okay.
So we need to
okay, so how should we prepare for the first campaign?
The main thing is to think what you want to do. I mean, or you want to about your topic, subject, because it will be easier to think about campaign when you have, for example, you want to be against pollution, for example, in Zakopane, against smoke, which is a huge problem in Zakopane. So then you think that maybe it's good to use, I don't know, posters, for example, or maybe use some kind of performance or prank. Pranks are really cool because authorities hate pranks, so it is nice to use it. And also, I think that it's always great to use social media like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, because it has huge impact, really huge. So I think that this is the way that you should really bad stuff against us. So it is, I think the best way is not to react in any way, you know. This is the thing, because you will not win this, you may say, competition, because it doesn't make sense. They want to argue with you, and they want to use it, to record it and use it in the social media or in the press, so it's better not to react in any way. Yep.
There was an event in Hungary where, like, I think students and teachers protested, and the police came there and used the tear gas on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It is.
Hopefully nothing like this will happen, right?
No, I don't think that it will be.
We are not going to make a protest.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to have the happening, which is going to raising awareness and informing, and so it's not going to be very, very like.
It's always like this. No, nothing will happen. No, oh my God.
I'm not saying that nothing will happen.
Yeah, of
I
course,
hope that
yeah.
nothing will happen, but it will not be like fighting.
Yeah,
protest
yeah,
against
yeah.
something. It will be more like inviting for good practices. So
Yeah.
something with smile, not saying okay, we'll boycott it. Or I don't know what kind of ideas you will have, but yeah.
It's nice to use like jokes, pranks, maybe use, I don't know, some kind of dance or create a special dance, you know, on the street.
Echo dance.
Echo dance.
Echo
Yeah,
dance.
and put it into a TikTok and maybe it will become viral, you never know. Posters, yeah, that kind of stuff, I think. Maybe song, I don't know.
Thank you. Next question. Next group. Okay, here. They were first. Kika was first. Sorry. Please pass the mic.
How to combine activism with a regular job or school, and is it possible? Or activism needs to be a full-time job to be successful?
To become a full-time, activist, like.
So I would just say NGOs.
Yep.
You know what NGO is? Non-governmental organization, which is, yeah.
So it is possible to find the money, European Union, etc., and just, create a job with it, So it is possible to work as an activist. But in another way, the first part of the question was, is it hard to combine, to combine those two things like regular job and activism? Well, I think it's not the easiest way to do it, but it is possible. I mean, it's nice to have a bunch of people that want to do it. And at the beginning it's easier, but after a while, of course, many people have different points of view and have more and more stuff to do, and it's true that it's hard. But it's another way. It still gives you a lot of joy, a lot of. You are happy that you can create something. It is nice, on the other way, because you see the difference that you are making, the impact. I mean, really, When I think about Warsaw a few years ago and right now, it's changed a lot. And the thing is that the president of the city and the authorities, they are, you may say, stealing a lot of ideas that activism had. And it's okay. The activists don't say, oh my God, you steal our ideas, and no, it's okay, it's good, because the city is changing the way that activism wanted to change. So it's less polluted, the trees are everywhere, so there's less cars, so I think it's great.
Back to girls.
So, what was the reason why you didn't end?
Well, I think that I always had this idea to act local in a specific way. So it was for me, just normal thing that I want to become a member of some kind of movement, And I thought that for me it will be easier to fight not for really big ideas like environment in the really like Greenpeace or etc. But I think that sometimes it's better and easier to act local, in your own environment, in your district, in your street, etc. Because you see the difference, you see the street, you see your district, and I think that maybe it's easier, to fight for that, not to fight, as a general with the global warming, etc. Maybe it's easier, or it's better to start with something smaller, and after, think about something that is more global. But this is my opinion.
And next question.
It's about it, It's always good because then you don't feel, this pressure, and you don't feel, stress when you know that you have friends and with your colleagues, and that you support each other. I think it's really important, in this thing, that you are not alone, especially when you have some, from time to time there are some cases that we need to be in court, for example, because somebody think that that this activism it's bad what he's doing. So yeah, we need to support our colleague, in many ways. So it is really important to feel the support of your colleagues, friends. Yep.
And next question.
So, how many people join your organization per year?
I mean, at N, it's a big organization. It's I think that it's more or less 250 person right now, and this new Nowe Dynasty initiative, the second one, it's not that big. I think it's right now we have like 20 people, more or less, and the funny thing is that authorities think that we are like, I don't know, 100 persons, but not. We are 20, and sometimes it depends on the project. Sometimes it's five people is involved in some kind of situation, sometimes 10. It depends on what we want to do and what's the idea, of our protest or prank or whatever.
And do you think there is a lot of smoke in your city? If so, does it affect your quality of life?
Yeah, I mean the smoke. It is an issue, and for sure the quality, especially during winter time, it is a problem. But here, I think in the mountains, it's a huge problem. I mean,
Actually,
really.
the Nowy Targ city, sorry for interrupting, which is like, I don't know, 10 kilometers from here, and we were driving through the city yesterday. It is right now the most polluted city in Poland. Previously it was Kraków, but Kraków started this anti-smoke alarm, so they actually won and applied with government at the end, because they were fighting for that, some laws, and people cannot have, for example, fireplaces in their apartments. They cannot grill in that city and so on.
And use coal,
Yeah, and use coal generally. So right now the quality of the air in Kraków is much better, and right now the Nowy Targ is the most polluted. But right now it's better because it's spring, summertime. But during the winter, when everybody is burning the coal and the wood, it's very bad.
Bad, yeah. It's. I mean, it is hard when you go outside. It's just sometimes you cannot breathe. I mean, I'm not talking about Warsaw, but there are some parts, of course, polluted. But here it is hard. So yeah.
Yes, and I think that one more, yeah?
When you decide to make a campaign, what is like, after you choose the topic, what is the first thing you think you should do?
I think the brainstorm is the best thing, when everybody just throwing the ideas, and then it's good to think what you can really do. So of course you can think about anything, like that you put a satellite on the moon, but then you have to think how to do it. So basically sometimes it's better to check what you can really do, and then think about how many people have to be involved in it, and how much money do you have to spend on it, and etc. etc. So sometimes the best way is to make it as much simple as it can be. So yeah, this is the idea.
What do you think is the best way to split roles in a group? Do you think the leader is needed?
The who?
The leader.
In our groups, it's the. I think that it's we work as we have projects that somebody, for example, has a idea. So this is his project. So here is some kind of a, you can say, leader, but he's open for, you know, for the ideas. So this is not like, you know, I'm leader, so I'm saying that it has to be like this, and that's it. So that's why it's like it works in like democratic way, you know. So we don't have like one leader that show us, you know, that we have to do it like this or that. No, it's the ideas, you know. I have ideas, so probably I will be like, you can say, project manager, and I will more or less lead, but I also open for the ideas and how to make it, you know.
Cooperation and teamwork.
Yeah, teamworking and cooperation. Yeah.
That's all? Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're just connected with the topic, but at the same time might be a bit relaxing and cleaning your mind. But before that, I would like to invite you to dance.